Welcome to this tutorial on advanced searching in PsycINFO and more. So why would you want to use advanced search in PsycINFO rather than just relying on your basic search and a combination of filters? So there are two really main reasons. The first is that the advanced search screen can help you build up your search string using Boolean operators, especially if you're unfamiliar with kind of how Boolean should be grouped together. It also allows you to add on more filters before you hit that results screen. To quickly review Boolean operators, AND is the default, it is inclusive, and so all results should include all of the search terms that you combine with AND. OR is expansive, meaning that you can use it to include alternative search terms like synonyms or related words. So it will include results that don't necessarily include all of your search terms, but will use either or of the words that are combined using the operator OR. Not is exclusive, meaning that is going to exclude any results with words that come after not. So I typically will throw this at the end of my search screen so that it excludes anything that comes after it. And it is really powerful, so use it with caution. And as a quick reminder, PsycINFO and More is going to include 4 different collections of psychological literature, but we are joining them into one search interface for ease of access. So on PsycINFO and More here, I'm on my basic search screen, and the easiest way to get to advanced search is simply to click on advanced search. On the advanced search screen, you'll see that we've added multiple search boxes, and in these boxes I'm able to go ahead and combine terms and kind of use them to group my terms and then combine them with operators. So to start off with, I am going to go ahead and put in an initial search term here, and you'll see that PsycINFO and More does actually suggest terms, and you could actually use these, but I would always go back and edit this to make sure that the operators are going to be capitalized, which is just a rule of thumb. I might throw some phrase searching on here, so combining search terms in parentheses if they are kind of made up of 2 or more words to make sure that that phrase is being searched together. Like so. So again, we have depression or depressive disorder, depressive symptoms, or major depressive order. So we're looking for any results that come back with those. And we're going to put in drug therapy or medication. And you'll notice that I'm leaving the AND as the operator in front of each of these lines here. And then I'm using OR to combine those like and kind of synonym terms here. I'm going to throw in a teenager or adolescent here. So adding in a demographic of some kind can often be helpful when you're looking for particular research. And then finally, I'm actually going to throw in another line here and put in a term that I don't really want to look at. And again, I could include additional search terms combined with that or even after a not. So PsycINFO and More does kind of help to combine, or does give you some prompting. Again, you can pay attention to those. You could come up with your own, so you could use subject terms instead of this. But they are going to help you kind of create a much more robust search coming through here. Additionally, with these fields here, you can actually change the metadata fields that you're searching in. Typically, the default is all fields, but you can say all text, so that's going to be in your abstract, in any kind of metadata. It does not necessarily mean it's going to search through the full text of articles, but it might if the full text is available. You could limit to an author, so if you're looking for a particular theory or you're looking for a research by a particular person, you could put that there. Titles, subject terms, this one's a little tricky to use, so use it with caution, but if you want to make sure that your terms are kind of in that subject field, you could put that there. You could also do things like a particular journal, or in the abstract itself, you can limit to kind of what you're looking at. But for this example, I'm just going to leave it at all fields. Additionally, on this advanced search screen, you can put on some filters on before you actually search. So for example, if I want to make sure that I'm looking at peer reviewed, if I'm looking at items that have been published in, say, the past 10 years, and then you have some additional options. Now, these filters are different because they're coming from 4 different databases, and some of them are more robust than others. So for example, PsycExtra really doesn't have a ton of filters here. I default to just using the PsycINFO filters because PsycINFO is the largest collection of items and they also have the most robust filters. So again, you could do something like age group to make sure that you are looking at that kind of adolescent teenage year. If you are looking for a particular methodology, for example, so say I want empirical studies, so this is original research that's happening, or if I wanted to look at, say, literature reviews, I could do that too. So you can actually set some things set these filters before you get into options. And one of the population groups I like is just leaving it at human instead of to leave out any kind of animal drug trials, for example. So we're looking for human adolescents here. I click search and let's see what we've got. So still a decent number, 891. Again, I can always go ahead and change the filters on this results screen here. I'm also going to pay attention to where my search terms are being kind of highlighted in this. So are they coming just in the title? Are they actually being kind of shown in the subject? So we do see mental depression as being one of those subjects that's coming back here, major depression as well, drug therapy is there. You'll also see them kind of highlighted in those abstracts. So even before you access the full text of items, you're able to go ahead and make sure that you're at least kind of hitting on results that are relevant to you. So if I need to edit my search in any way, I can do that. I can go ahead and either take out items or add items to this. Just be careful and kind of pay attention to the grouping that's going on. You'll notice that the first boxes items are all kind of enclosed within one set of parentheses, and then the second box of search terms is enclosed in another set. It's a little akin to order of operations in math, so kind of grouping them together like so. I always leave not at the very end to make sure that anything that's coming after it is going to be excluded. So just keep that in mind. If you need help within EBSCOhost, please remember that you can always ask a librarian. There's also this EBSCO Quick Start Guide. So if you are kind of struggling with Boolean operators and how they kind of work within EBSCOhost, you can actually, again, go in and look to see how filters work. They have an option for searching with Boolean operators, which will kind of show you what this looks like and how EBSCOhost actually combines these items as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask a librarian. And thank you for watching.